I've published several projects recently, all based on the same punch card with cute little hearts as an accent. If you don't have a punch card machine, you only have a hobby machine or a simple one that only does hand selection, do not feel left out. This movie is about showing you how to get the identical effect entirely with hand selection. We will do this on my SK150, creating dark pink on a light pink background for our hearts, and refer to the punch card as though it were a chart. The fingers are pointing to the lower points of the hearts. Counting over, we can see that means we need to select every sixth needle. And we're selecting those needles to hold. So set the carriage so that it will hold the needles that come all the way forward and knit one main yarn row. Here's how it works on Singer Studio Silver Reeds. Brothers, set the NH button to 8. There are many ways to get the carriage to knit in the second color, but I think it's faster to do it manually for a tiny motif like that, so that's what I will show you. Take the contrasting strand of yarn, lay it in the open needle hooks, and pull back your own stitch. Also wrap either the end needle or the next to the end needle with the contrasting yarn. You might wonder, why make a float when you don't have to? And here's why. If we let the contrasting yarn turn around here and go back directly into the next row, it tends to make holes like the one you see. The next row up has 3 contrast color stitches in a row. So we select the 3 needles that include the last one that was selected plus 1 to either side of it. I accidentally disturbed the stitches on those 2 needles, so placing them in upper working position will cause them to knit the main color, and I can continue with the design. Knit across and manually knit in the contrasting stitches. You might imagine that this would be very difficult, but you'll be surprised. Your hands will quickly get used to pulling a loop of yarn that is the same size as the other stitches. It just takes a little practice. Now wrap the second to edge needle, and we're going to select exactly the same needles again because that's what's required for row 3. So select, knit across, manually knit in the contrasting color stitches. Rows 4 and 5 both require 5 stitches in a row, expanding 1 on each side from the 3 that were selected. So we'll select those now. I'm going to wrap the end needle this time because I didn't get my motifs centered quite like I meant to. It'll be fine. And we'll manually knit in our first row of 5 consecutive contrasting color stitches. Select the same ones again. Wrap the second end needle. I would be consistent if this were a real project. Knit across with the main color. Knit in my 5 contrasting stitches. Wrap the end needle. And now set up for the final row, which has a different configuration. Select 2 needles, leave a gap, select 2 more, knit across, and manually knit in the contrasting color. And that's it for our hearts. We can go on and knit whatever else is happening on the project. In this case, I'm just going to take it off of the machine and show it to you. And there they are, our little hearts. FYI, this is 2 different colors of red heart yarn at stitch size 7. If you wanted tighter knitting, I think you could go as low as stitch size 6 on this machine. And if you are willing to hand select your Fairisle for only 6 rows, you can knit my Fairisle heart design on the very simplest machine.